All right, so diving right into this daily AI news roundup, we've been, looking at a ton of sources, articles, research, like just, stuff that's happened in the last 24 hours. We're
Wow.
going to try to give you everything that you need to know as fast as we can.
Okay.
It's a lot to cover.
Yeah,
The AI world just moves so fast.
it really does.
So one of the big things that's been happening is this whole idea of AI agents.
Agents, okay.
Right. And so Amazon's AGI lab, they've actually revealed, their first kind of public work. And this is, being led by a former executive from OpenAI.
Oh, wow.
And what they're doing is they're really focused on building AI that can make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because they're actually, they're looking at physical robots
Interesting.
for inspiration, to see how they can actually have AI agents that are embodied and can kind of, interact with the real world.
Okay.
Even though like this particular demonstration isn't about like physical robots. They have this thing called Nova Act.
Nova.
Nova Act is this AI agent that can like control a web browser.
Okay.
And it can do stuff independently.
Wow.
So they're not telling it exactly what to do.
Right.
It's kind of figuring things out on its own within those parameters.
I mean, that's huge, right?
Right.
Like, we use web browsers for so much. Just imagine if you could have something automatically booking your travel or, I don't know, buying you stuff on Amazon.
Oh, I see where they're going with this.
That's what it makes me think of.
But what's really cool is that they're actually giving people an SDK to start building their own agent prototypes.
Oh, wow.
So they're kind of opening this up
Okay.
to people to start playing with and, kind of see what they can do.
So this is really like, we're moving away from just the AI assistant
Yeah.
into something that actually takes actions,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's actually doing stuff,
It's not just passive. Yeah.
not just passive. Yeah.
Like it's actually, operating
Right.
in the world.
So that connection to robots makes a lot of sense to me then.
It does.
Because it's like, even if these first things are in, a web browser, which is a digital world,
Right.
it seems like they're thinking bigger than that
They are.
about how this could actually operate in the real world.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think, this SDK is going to be something that a lot of developers are going to be paying very close attention to.
I agree.
It could really be a sign of where things are going.
Yeah. And speaking of, this whole agentic AI, Temporal, have you heard of Temporal?
I have not.
Okay, so they're a company that kind of specializes in microservices,
Okay.
but they just got a ton of funding, like $146 million
Right.
to expand what they're calling agentic AI.
So it really feels like this is the next big thing then.
It seems like there's a lot of people that think so,
Yeah.
right? Because, when you get that much money,
That kind of money. Yeah.
there's some belief behind it.
So then it's not just about the AI giving us information.
Right.
It's about the AI doing stuff.
Yeah, like automating things,
Right.
taking action, actually,
So this could change a lot of things
A lot of things.
in a lot of different industries
Right.
as this kind of technology gets better and better.
But let's move on a little bit to some other advancements that are
Yes.
happening just in the the core AI models themselves.
Okay.
So Google, they've just announced Gemini 2.5,
Okay.
which is their next generation AI reasoning model.
Reasoning, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean we don't have all the details yet,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but the fact that they're focusing on reasoning
Right.
kind of suggests that, it's going to be even better
Okay.
at handling, complex questions, maybe even solving like more intricate problems.
So for people using this, it means that it's going to be able to understand what they're really asking better,
Yeah, more nuance.
more nuance,
Mhm.
and be able to respond in a way that actually makes sense.
Exactly. And then on top of that, OpenAI, they GPT-4o,
Right.
and they've now put image generation directly into ChatGPT.
Okay.
So now, like when you're using ChatGPT, you can just have it make pictures too,
Oh, wow. Oh,
like
sure.
right there in the same interface.
So that makes things easier.
So much easier,
Yeah.
for people to just use it.
So you don't have to go to a separate tool or anything. You can
Yeah.
just do it all in one place.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then there's, a lot of competition going on
Yeah, I bet.
in this whole large language model space.
Okay.
So Tencent, they have this model called Hunyuan T1,
On UNT1. Okay.
and it's, another reasoning model.
Okay.
And the word on the street is that it's like as good as DeepSeek,
Wow.
but like way cheaper.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Cost is a big factor for a lot of people,
For companies especially.
especially companies. Yeah.
And then for the video people out there, Runway, they just launched Gen 4.
Gen 4.
Yeah. And this is their new video generator.
Okay.
They say it's like super high fidelity,
Right.
like, it can make really good looking videos.
Okay.
And the big thing they're highlighting is that, it can keep characters looking the same
Okay.
from frame to frame.
Like,
The locations look consistent, and they're even saying you can like regenerate objects.
so it's solving some of the problems people have had with these AI videos before.
That's what they claim.
Yeah, where things kind of jump around
Exactly.
and don't look right.
Yeah,
So if this really works, I mean, that's a big deal
that's a big deal. Yeah.
for anybody making videos.
Especially if you're a filmmaker or, doing advertising or something like that. And then there's a company called Mistral AI, and they released this API for OCR.
Okay.
So that's optical character recognition,
Right.
but it's specifically designed for like multimodal documents.
Okay.
So, think of like scientific papers
Right.
or, some kind of historical document
Yeah.
where like the layout's weird.
Okay.
It's not just, like a regular book,
Right.
and it's using, large language models
Okay.
to kind of figure out like what all the text says and, what it all means.
So for researchers, this is going to be pretty interesting, right?
It could be huge for research.
Especially if you're looking at stuff that's, been hard to read
Exactly.
because of the way it's laid out.
Or just because it's old or whatever.
Or old, exactly, yeah.
And on the infrastructure side, NVIDIA AI researchers have come up with this technique called FFN fusion.
FFN fusion.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. But basically what it's trying to do is when you have these big large language models,
Right.
they have to do a lot of processing, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of sequential, like it does this, then it does this, then it does this.
Yeah.
And what FFN fusion is trying to do is make it more parallel.
So like do multiple things at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that it's, potentially way more efficient.
That makes sense.
And so for us, as users, it could mean that, these AI applications are faster
Yeah.
and maybe even cheaper.
Yeah.
Because they're using less computing power.
Right.
So there's also been some, advancements in AI's ability to like understand video.
Video. Okay.
Yeah, so there's this thing called VideoMind, and it's a role-based agent.
Role-based?
Yeah, and it's designed for what they're calling temporal grounded video understanding.
Okay. I'm not sure I understand that.
So basically, it's not just looking at single frames.
Okay.
It's actually understanding how the video unfolds over time.
So it's like it's getting the context of the whole video.
Yeah, it's seeing the whole story,
Yeah.
not just, individual moments.
That's pretty cool.
And that's really important for things like, video search, even things like surveillance,
Oh,
where you're actually trying to understand what's happening
yeah.
as it's happening.
So it's not just like, oh, there's a person in this frame.
Right,
It's like, oh, this person is walking across the room and picking up this object.
right.
Okay.
It's understanding the action.
That's pretty amazing.
And then more on video, NVIDIA researchers, they were also talking about this thing called GN3C.
GN3C.
GN3C. And this is all about generating video.
Okay.
But it's about generating it with like 3D information
Okay.
and world consistency.
Okay.
So it's like, you can imagine like you're creating a video game or something.
Right.
And you have a 3D model of the world.
Yeah.
This is going to allow you to like generate video within that world that's consistent.
So like if you move the camera around, it still looks right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they're also talking about like precise camera control.
Okay.
So it's like, you can really get in there and make the video look exactly how you want it.
So this is for people who are already pretty technical then.
I think so.
It's not like something I'm going to be using on my phone.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing that could, make video games look amazing.
I think so, yeah.
Or movies or, VR experiences.
Right.
All that kind of stuff.
And then, in terms of, how AI is showing up in our daily lives.
Okay.
So Apple, they're apparently, they're going to revamp their health app.
Okay.
And there's rumors that they're going to have this AI coach.
An AI coach.
An AI coach, yeah.
In your health app.
In the health app.
Okay.
And they're calling it like Project Mulberry.
Project Mulberry. Okay.
Yeah. And so this is like, it's supposed to give you like personalized advice
Right.
about your health.
So it's like having a personal trainer, but it's AI
Yeah.
in your phone.
In your phone.
Okay.
And Aura, the company that makes the smart ring,
Yeah.
they've launched their own AI health coach too.
Wow.
It's called Aura Advisor.
Okay.
So if you have an Aura ring, you can like ask it health questions.
Oh, that's cool.
And it'll give you advice based on, your sleep and your activity data.
So it's using your data to give you specific advice for you.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
And then even, everyday appliances are getting in on this.
Okay.
So Samsung, their new refrigerators,
Okay.
they have AI,
Yep.
and you can actually use it to find your phone if you've lost it.
Oh, that's funny.
So
it's like, honey, where's my phone? Refrigerator, tell me.
pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
But it's just, it's showing how
Right.
AI is kind of getting into everything.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, we also saw this new AI assistant called DeskSense.
DeskSense. Okay.
And this is like they're saying it can do all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Like, data analysis, content creation.
Right.
Like it's really aimed at professionals.
So it's like a super powered virtual assistant.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And on the infrastructure side of things, AMD, they just bought a company called ZT Systems.
Right.
For a lot of money, like almost $5 billion.
Wow.
And so ZT Systems, they make, they're in the AI infrastructure space.
Okay.
And so this is kind of AMD's way of saying like, hey, we want to be,
A big player.
a bigger player in this.
In the AI world.
Yeah, because now they can offer complete solutions.
Right.
Not just the chips.
So they're not just making the parts.
Right.
They're making the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah.
Okay.
And then Cerebras, the company that makes those giant AI chips.
Yeah.
They've been having some issues
Yeah.
with, the U.S. government, the CFIUS, which is the Committee on Foreign Investment.
Okay.
And they've said they've resolved those issues now.
Okay.
But the fact that that was even, a thing
Right.
kind of shows how important AI hardware is,
Okay.
from a national security standpoint.
Yeah, makes sense.
Governments are paying attention to this stuff.
Yeah, they don't want the wrong people getting their hands on this technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Alphabet, which is, Google's parent company.
Right.
Their AI drug discovery unit, Isomorphic Labs, just got a ton of money, $600 million,
Wow.
from an investor who also, interestingly, backs OpenAI.
Okay.
So this is their first, like, outside funding.
Okay.
But it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it really shows, the excitement around using AI for drug discovery.
Mm. Yeah, it's a hot area.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
It does.
AI can help us find new drugs faster,
Yeah.
hopefully cheaper.
Yeah.
So it could really change the way we deal with diseases.
So, lastly, there was this really interesting analysis that looked at
Okay.
4 of the leading AI image generation tools.
Okay.
So they looked at OpenAI's GPT-4o,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft Copilot,
Okay.
Midjourney,
Okay.
and Google's Image FX.
All right.
And they were looking at how well these tools, how consistently they generated images of professional men
Okay.
with, specific characteristics.
Okay.
And what they found was kind of interesting.
Oh.
They found that, some of the tools, they would like lighten skin tones or omit like cultural markers.
Okay.
And some of them, they were just like kind of stylizing the images in a way that didn't really match
Okay.
what the prompt was asking for.
Right.
But Google's Image FX, that was the one that seemed to like
Do the best.
do the best job. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the most consistent.
Okay.
And it actually like depicted diversity more accurately.
So it sounds like there's still work to do
There's definitely still work to do.
in making sure these AI tools are fair.
Yeah. And don't have, weird biases built into them.
Right.
So, I mean, I think to sum it all up, we're seeing a lot of movement towards AI agents that can actually take actions. We're seeing these core models get better. They're getting more nuanced. They're getting more capable.
Yeah.
And we're seeing, the infrastructure behind all of this is getting a lot of attention
Yeah.
and investment.
And investment.
But, there's still these really important questions about ethics
Absolutely.
and fairness and making sure that these tools are actually beneficial.
Right. And not harmful.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. I hope this has been, helpful for you to kind of stay up to date.
Yeah, it's amazing how much happened in just one day.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, before we go, I have to ask you, with all this stuff happening with AI changing so fast,
Yeah.
what do you think is the biggest opportunity?
Okay.
Maybe even the biggest challenge
That's a good question.
that we're facing right now?
I mean, for me, it's the potential for AI to really improve healthcare.
Okay.
We're already seeing it with these AI coaches and drug discovery,
Right.
but I think that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
AI can help us diagnose diseases earlier,
Right.
develop personalized treatments,
Right.
even maybe like cure diseases that we thought were incurable.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
But it's also,
Yeah,
a little scary, right?
a little scary, yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of ethical questions that we need to think about.
Absolutely.
But the potential is there
Yeah.
for AI to really transform healthcare for
Right.
the better.
For the better, hopefully.
So I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
But thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with more AI news.
Looking forward to it.